Hi everyone, welcome back to our video series on SAT verbal hacks. Today we'll be talking about how to approach poetry questions. Poetry can often seem intimidating to students, but if you follow these 3 simple steps, you'll be set up for success. Those steps are to chunk by stanzas or punctuation, to scan for keywords while you're reading, and to reflect on the energy of the poem after you've finished reading. To look at an example, I have a poem here that is titled Exclusion. That tells me this poem is probably going to be about solitude or loneliness. This poem isn't divided into stanzas, so I've chunked it by punctuation. I did that by looking for hard stops, like periods, because those indicate the end of a thought. My first chunk here reads, "The soul selects her own society, then shuts the door. On her divine majority, obtrude no more." There's quite a bit of language here, but I really only need to, again, scan for keywords that seem to be the most important. This first line seems pretty important to me. It's talking about the soul, the spiritual self, and how it selects her own society. Obviously, there's some figurative language there, but again, it seems to be talking about isolation or excluding yourself from others. My second chunk here reads, "Unmoved, she notes the chariots pausing at her low gate. Unmoved, an emperor is kneeling upon her mat." I notice the word unmoved is repeated twice in this chunk, and that's obviously there for a reason, so I decided to highlight those 2 words as pretty important. I also noticed that there's 2 new figures here. There's a chariot that's pausing, and there's an emperor that's kneeling, and those seem to be set in opposition to the soul, which is this figure that is unmoving and powerful. Finally, my third chunk reads, "I've known her from an ample nation, choose one, then close the valves of her attention like stone." Again, the words that seem most important to me are closing attention like stone, remaining steadfast and remaining strong. Now, when I think about this poem as a whole, it is talking about exclusion, it is talking about solitude, but to me, the energy of this poem is positive. It seems to be talking about how the soul is something that is resolute and doesn't change based on outside influences. Now that I've broken down this poem, I'll be set up for success with any kind of question that the SAT throws at me.